Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Professor Ozerski, the director of SDC Malachite. If you intend to remain at the center, please avoid interfering with our work and treat all visitors with courtesy and respect. My colleagues frequently require stalker assistance to retrieve artifacts or conduct field experiments. Should you prove yourself capable, you may be entrusted with such assignments.
I'm looking for information about the Phantoms. A monolithian called Faust conjured doubles of himself during a fight. I want to know how this is possible.
And I want to never have to hear about this subject again. But I suppose you're luckier than I am. The doubles you witnessed are induced illusions caused by Psi influence within the Tau range. This Faust fellow appears to be employing older Psi consciousness technology. Psi consciousness were the ones who extensively researched induced illusions and their impact on humans. Have you heard about the Wish Granter? That's their handiwork.
Psi consciousness? That rings a bell.
It was a faction of idealistic scientists from Project X. They aspired to cleanse the noosphere of the dark manifestations of human nature, to make the world perfect. However noble their intentions may have been, their execution was rather poor. In June 2006, a decade after the discovery of the noosphere, they tried to establish an unauthorized connection to it. The experiment spiraled out of control, leading to the emergence of the zone. It now serves as a warning about the perils of impulsive scientific endeavors.
Where can I meet the Psi consciousness scientists? I need to learn more about their technology.
You're a few years too late. Psi consciousness ceased to exist in 2012 following the demise of all of its members. A stalker who goes by S.T.A.L.K.E.R managed to reach the generators after deactivating the Wish Granter. Then he gunned down Psi consciousness. Evidently, he didn't take kindly to being used as a guinea pig.
I want to know more about induced illusions.
I'm not entirely sure we still have any books with enough information here at the center. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R archives would come in handy here.
I got them after the signal. They're saved on this flash drive.
Oh, that makes it so much easier. However, analyzing these archives will require a considerable amount of time, and I take it you need answers as soon as possible. Fortunately, the X network is up and running again. There's an abandoned mirror facility nearby. It was used to study induced illusions until 2008. If you can restart it and reconnect the mirror to Malachite, I could look for the information you need.
What exactly do I need to do?
Two things. Activate the visual projection center and calibrate the communication antenna. Mind you, configuring the antenna might require specific conditions. The older the equipment, the harder it is to set it up properly. I advise you to find an operations manual for the facility's engineering team and follow its guidelines to the letter. Talk to you later. I'm all ears. Goodbye.
Howdy, eggheads. Care to tell me where Ozerski is?
Young man, I'd like to know.
Nah, don't bother. Just get Ozerski for us, alright?
here. We've gone from incoherent noise, grainy visual, and flitting shadows to a repeatable illusion, clear and vivid. We've finally determined the range at which C effects can produce distinct induced illusions. They're still lacking specific details and features for now, but we can already create projections of both physical objects and images born from the human subconscious. Thank you for establishing a secure connection. I was able to retrieve the information you requested. The Controller project was responsible for the creation of phantoms as part of its research into induced illusions. However, all related data is highly classified and never went public. Fortunately, we have a list of the scientists involved in the project. If any of them are alive and in the zone, you may be able to get your information straight from the horse's mouth, as it were.
Do you know anyone on that list?
Regrettably, no. But I know someone who could assist you. Richter. He used to be a guide, but now his work mostly revolves around finding people. He's just the man you need.
This Richter guy's all over the place. Seems to know everyone in the zone. Where do you know him from?
If not for him, S.T.A.L.K.E.R and I wouldn't be working together right now. I was interested in meeting him, and Richter arranged it. I wouldn't recommend someone unless I was certain of their competence. Richter knows his way around the zone. If anyone from this list is still here, he'll track them down for you.
Do you know where I can find Richter?
When he's not busy with his clients, he usually frequents the 100 Rods bar in Rostock. Try looking for him there. You can ask our guide. He'll help you find your way there.
Now what? Where are we going this time?
Here's the Polovin. No clinking glasses on this one.
He seemed like a decent...
You wanna chat?
We were just having a few drinks, and then he glanced...
I need to find some people.
And turned into a different...
Ozerski mentioned you might be able to help me with that.
Snatched what stock from us. He yelled.
You're making some friends, I see.
Doing it again.
Ozerski is a man with the heart of gold. When he's not being pain in the ass, anyway.
You seem pretty popular yourself. Are you some kind of recruiter? Bringing folks to Strider, mingling with scientists, cozying up to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. And you keep popping up wherever I go, too.
Must be the zone's will. Nah, there's a plenty of recruiters here without me. By the way, there's that stalker who showed up after the signal, S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Ever heard of him? He's a legend around here. I hear he's putting together a new crew. He doesn't like what's going on in the zone and he wants to shake things up.
What happened to his old crew?
I could tell you they found lots of rare artifacts, left for the mainland, and lived happily ever after. But in reality, not everyone made it back from their trip to the monolith.
What's S.T.A.L.K.E.R up to? What's his plan?
That's something you gotta ask the man himself. And if he doesn't trust you enough, you'll never find out. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is the type who keeps his plans to himself.
How can I find this S.T.A.L.K.E.R guy?
Nah. I might have said too much already. Either the zone's gonna help you, or S.T.A.L.K.E.R will find you himself. But I don't think you two would hit it off right now. As long as you and S.T.A.L.K.E.R keep looking for the Shining Zone, you better stay away from S.T.A.L.K.E.R. He doesn't trust or cooperate with anyone. Can you really blame him?
There are no trustworthy people in the zone. S.T.A.L.K.E.'s got that right. Looking for allies is a waste of time. Speaking of which, do you know anyone on this list?
I know one of them, Dvupalov. He's a real grump when he's sober, which thankfully isn't often. He's usually holed up in his old hideout and doesn't entertain visitors. If you want to talk to him, you'll need to bring him a collar from a mutant. He used to do some research with the collars and now he just collects them. Talk about sentimental.
Is this the type of collar Dvupalov collects?
Wow! You've certainly been around the zone if you've managed to find one. You're shaping up to be quite a stalker. Now that you have the collar, you're good to head to Dvupalov's hideout. I'll send you the coordinates. If he asks you for a password, the answer is leash. Remember, if the professor offers you a drink, don't turn it down. It'll make the conversation smoother. But don't try to outdrink him either. You won't stand a chance. See ya.
None of us were fond of the Wardens.
Did you hear the news? Freedom and duty are at it again. Now I gotta sit here and wait for duty to storm in, take Rostock back, and execute me as a traitor. But for the moment, it's mostly just threats. And I've still got work to do. So, what's your poison? Since we're friends and all, in a matter of speaking, drop by again. We'll have some drinks.
The leash.
Come on in, and don't drag your feet. If you only got one, Don't expect a big payout. Where are your manners? Where do you think you're going, Stalker?
Hand it over. You're new around here, aren't you? Or have I just forgotten you? I had an assistant I'll never forget. Nightingale. He was a delight to work with and a great drinking buddy. It's a shame he's gone. Think you can fill his shoes?
I wasn't planning to. I'm here about...
I know what you're here about. The first ones in the house. But we'll enjoy it right here on the spot. You can fetch the bottle from my lab. It's just down the hall.
It's an elixir you'll light and never forget.
I'll remember.
Come on, have a sit.
All right. Let's sample the goods. Let's have one. And then we can talk about what, where, and how much. Here's to the start of our partnership.
All right. Here's to our partnership.
Not even a flinch, huh? That sort of bravado isn't gonna impress me. When you're drinking, you've gotta put your heart into it. So, where are we? How about another one?
Let's toss another one back.
You're definitely not a grad student. That's a good thing. About those collars. Leave them out next time. The shop's closed. What's the point of stocking up on collars if I don't have a leash? It was a promising project, sure. But it's time to bid it farewell. Bottoms up, Stalker.
What project are you talking about?
I told ya, Project Leash. The mutant control project. They cooked up all sorts of freaks, then tried to make gadgets to bust them around and zap them remotely if things get out of hand. As you know, they fucked up the later parts. When the project got shelved, those colored mutants were supposed to die peacefully in their cages, not run amok in the zones poking stalkers. So much for a promising project. But I suppose promises are made to be broken. How about a drink to that stalker?
Let's have another one. Sure.
To abstract thinking. If man is the measure of all things, then the measure of a man is 3 shots of this magic vodka. So go ahead, ask your questions while I'm feeling charitable.
How do you destroy phantoms and defeat someone who can create induced illusions?
Seen double, eh? You probably just had some bad vodka. Try some of mine. It's good for more than just keeping radiation at bay.
When I saw the man who created those phantoms, I was stone cold sober.
Ha ha ha. And I was stone cold sober when I saw evidence that it was impossible. But who am I to forbid you from living in a world of illusions? If you're really so eager, drag your ass to X5. That's where the whole three-ring circus used to be. Try to find a blueprint for the suppressor. It's out to help you. I'm all out of vodka anyway. Come on. I'll give you the key card for the lab. The colors were crude instruments. The suppressors, on the other hand, they were designed to dampen abilities of a fine nature. Now, where did I put it? No, that's just some junk. Ah, look, a pickle. I'll save it for later. Fuck, what are you up to? The artifact just popped out of the steel. Grab it, Stalker. Left. No, right. Catch that sucker! Why, you're light on your feet, Stalker. You can hang on to this one. You've earned it. You went after that artifact like a bullet from a gun. Seems like I gave the keycard for X5 to Sherpa after all. That's why I hate teetotalers. The bastard must have caught me in a good mood. Anyway, if you want the suppressor, you need to talk to that boring grad student yourself. He's over in Nagroprom, staying close to X5. And now for the fourth shots, the happiest of them all. Oh, good. Get this, my blissful kind of experiment. Here comes oblivion. You, whippersnappers, should stay away from all this. Nothing good ever comes of it. And never will.
You're the first Project X scientist I've met who's still alive. I'm curious to hear about it firsthand.
Believe me, those men of great learning would rather not have my tongue tarnish their legacy. So I'm more than willing to do exactly that. Here's the scoop. Project X was a bunch of charlatans, and I was the most shameless one of them all. How's that for a revelation?
You used to work with phantoms. Tell me about the ability to create them.
I used to work on lots of things, including that one, yeah. What can I say? it didn't pan out. Turns out, not a single subject was capable of controlling even a paltry ability like this.
What was the purpose of the controller project?
Producing one failure after another. No, really the project was meant to put the abilities of mutants to good use. But can we truly blame mindless creatures for their actions? Those in charge should have known right from the start that nothing could be changed. When you try to fix someone else's mistakes, you only end up making new ones.
So why did you collect those collars anyway?
They're the only thing I have left to remind me of all my future scientific endeavors. Sentimentality. A quirk of human nature. Who can really say? Anyway, here's to leaving sentimentality behind. Move your ass already.
What brings you here? You may go. I ask you to vacate the premises. I'm occupying it and there's nothing here to take.
Calm down, Sherba. Vupalov sent me.
Is the professor doing okay? He didn't succumb to intoxication from that poison of his, did he? Its alcohol by volume is nearing pure ethanol. Not to mention the anomalous component. What a fall from grace. A great scientist resorting to making vodka.
Why do you even bother helping Vupalov?
How can I stand by and watch a scientist of his caliber kill the few brain cells he has left? He has invaluable knowledge and skills, the kind that are not taught at Malachite, especially nowadays. The professor has no right to go down this path.
Tell me about Dvupalov. So he's a great scientist?
Professor Dvupalov is a brilliant mind hailing from the Project X era, the mastermind behind the Controller project. He used to bring science to new heights. Now the only thing he can bring is a glass toward his lips. He's disenchanted with his life's work, you see? Nothing ever changes. If only the professor had taken a moment to peruse my notes instead of selling vodka.
Dvupalov sent me to get the key card for X5. I'm looking for the Phantom Suppressor.
It took Dvupalov a whole 6 months just to remember my name while I served him food every day. And now he tells you about the card right away? Did you drink with him or something?
It's tough to avoid having a drink with him.
That stuff is pure poison. All right, I'll give you the card. It's too risky for me in there anyway. But you've got to promise me that you'll search X5 for any papers related to the Controller project and bring them back to me.
Since I'm headed to X5, tell me about the lab.
Until recently, no one even knew it existed. The research there was classified, and the lab had been mothballed for quite some time. Then UT did some cleanup with heavy explosives there, and found hidden levels beneath Agroprom. I used certain informal channels to reach out to the professor. That's how I found out it was an old mutant research lab. I can't even begin to fathom what's going on in there right now.
Why do you want those papers?
I tried to convince Professor Dvupalov that I'm a worthy successor to his great work, but all I received from him was a couple of his drafts, one of which had been used as a food wrapper. I'm talking about research that could etch our names into history. Since the professor doesn't seem to recognize it, I'll take it upon myself to finish the job for him.
Tell me what you know about the Controller project.
The Controller project did involve some research on phantoms, but its main objective was to develop specimens modified with both biological and technological enhancements. Unlike their mutant predecessors, which were impossible to keep in their cages, these were meant to be trained as soldiers to protect Project X personnel. Can you imagine? Not even S.T.A.L.K.E.R is attempting anything like that nowadays. They haven't even managed to create a single new specimen.
Hand me that key card, and I'll see what I can do about your papers.
All right. It's not like I've got much of a choice. But keep those papers in mind, Stalker. You'll need to head all the way down, but if you're willing to do the job, I'll make it worth your while. I'll go check on the professor in the meantime. Seems like every time I look away, he's got a new drinking buddy.
You're having trouble sleeping too, I see. Let's get started early today. We're going to explore how your brain responds to metaphors and imagery. Empathy and abstract thinking. Those are the traits that separate us from simple beasts. And they're what separates you from the other mutants. In theory, at least. I rummaged through my library and came across something that suits our circumstances perfectly. I hope you won't mind a little poetry. Not backwards, forwards is the spirit side. This moment now alone is our delight.
the reports. Faust is a work of art. It's a shame for Paolo won't get to appreciate it.
From what I have observed, he's more than a work of art. He hasn't ceased to amaze us since he was connected to the Monolith Network. Faust ought to encourage the fighters, to inspire them, rather than relying on his controller abilities.
He's not just a soldier. He's a general.
Yes, you make a good point. Remind me, where are the blueprints for the suppressor?
My head. Fuck. I can't let history repeat itself. Today's March 3rd, 2017. You're S.T.A.L.K.E.R. You used to work at S.T.A.L.K.E.R, but you quit and tried to sabotage X-11. You failed. Escape to the mainland. Go into hiding. Then come back and make sure those bastards can't complete Project X.
Can't you just move on? When are you going to let it go, huh?
I was worried. Haven't you been following the news? The zone's going to hell.
All news has been the same since the Garden of Eden. After that, it's just humanity repeating itself.
You're sloshed again, Professor. What about science?
It's pointless. Ever since they invented alcohol distillation.
The Stalker, he's back. Those papers I mentioned, do you have them?
Where are your manners, young man? You won't even offer a man a shit and pour him a cold one?
Here. I don't want to be anywhere near these things.
This is... Yes! This is it! At last!
There's nothing exciting in there anyhow. I've told you before, young man, if even my own work can end in failure...
Faust wasn't exactly... a failure. In a way. Haven't you heard? He tapped into the X network, brought the monolith back, and caused a bloodbath all over the zone.
So he's... your project? The abilities you incorporate...
Shut up! I knew I was right all along. So that bunch of old farts in pots haven't given up on my research. Hooking him up to the monolith was a stroke of genius.
Thanks for those papers. They're a treasure worth all the years I spent at Malachite. We'll stay in touch. I've got grand plans for the future.
And I told them that the only way to create a true controller is to preserve his capacity to think, to feel, and make decisions. Sure, right now the choices he's making don't align with what the Ward, the MDST or anyone else had in mind. But I did succeed.
The MDST? What's that?
The scientists from Project X who, unlike me, were eager to continue their research even after it was officially shut down. It appears they were the ones who made the controller project a reality. Officially, they had no funding or approval to proceed. However, C Consciousness wasn't content with merely creating the zone. They were determined to safeguard a pitiful existence. That's why they needed the monolith. And later on, Faust and his abilities.
Why did you create Faust?
The mutants turned out to be far too unpredictable, useless, and downright dangerous. The aim was to mold them into obedient soldiers. The Liege had some success with more primitive tools. But I believed we were on the wrong path. The error, I thought, lay in the very design of the controllers. Without consciousness and human empathy, their C abilities were pitiful. Faust demonstrated this vividly, but masterful tools necessitate much more precise fine-tuning.
Who is Faust now? What have you turned him into?
We granted him the abilities of a controller mutant. But I'm convinced that Faust has retained his humanity. See, there's no more Project X, no C consciousness, no MDST to protect. He wasn't being directed by a program. He initiated this of his own free will. I believe the monolith became an idea to him. Give a man an idea he can grasp, and he'll do much more than he would ever do cursed. I've always said that it works better than any leash.
I found the suppressor. Can you install it?
All right. I almost forgot the reason you're here. All the work I did. It's all become meaningless. You're going to kill Faust.
A lot of people died because of him.
Were they good people? Well, then find other good people to install the suppressor. I'm not a technician. You're as much of a fool as I am if you think you can set things right. The controller project was abandoned, and yet Faust endures. Monolith disappeared, and now it has returned. Go ahead and kill Faust, Stalker. It won't change a thing. You'll see.
Okay, there's an emission coming! Find shelter!
Here we go! We gotta find cover!
I'll take care of everything. I have options to suit every budget. I can get some more goods. Come back later.
Profits. We're going to starve here.
The light show is about to kick off!
Got issues with your gear? We gotta get creative here. Let's see what kind of masterpiece we can create. Bring me something interesting.
Skiff, come in. How's Sky's request going? Is there a way to deal with the phantoms of our mad monolith preacher?
I've got the suppressor. It should shield me from Faust's influence.
Good news for once. Can't say the same about the rest. Faust is gonna turn everyone in the zone into fanatics. And the worst is that he's got a pretty good chance. But we have a plan. Head over to the Duga. I'll tell you all about it.